Fans are worried. Liu Yuning finally speaks out. What's really going on? Something cracked in the fandom last night. A tiny sound, but loud enough to send millions into full emotional alert. A moment so small you'd miss it if you blinked. Yet, so human it hit like a punch straight to the gut. And yes, Celeb Buzz Insider has been watching closely. Because when Liu Yuning, the unstoppable powerhouse who sings like a storm and works like a machine built by destiny, suddenly shows vulnerability on live stream, the entire internet leans in. A single frame, a small red patch, a wave of panic. It began innocently, almost quietly. No dramatic scandal, no chaotic PR event, no flashy headline. Just a live stream, warm lighting, relaxed atmosphere, Yuning chatting with fans the way he always does. But then he shifted slightly, turning his head, and the camera caught something on the back of his neck. A small irritated patch of skin. Red. Inflamed. Hard to ignore under the strong studio lights. Fans didn't let it slide for even 2 seconds. The comments exploded. What's that? Are you okay? Yuning, have you been resting properly? Please tell us you saw a doctor. You could feel the worry spilling through the screen, almost louder than his voice. And then, the unexpected happened. Instead of laughing it off, instead of dodging the question like any ultra-famous star might, instead of pretending nothing was wrong, he answered, "Honestly, I went to the hospital, but I was scared someone would photograph me." In that one moment, Liu Yuning did something raw, rare, and painfully real. He admitted that the inflammation wasn't new. It wasn't dangerous. It wasn't some dramatic medical mystery. He'd actually gone to see a dermatologist, twice, because the condition keeps coming back when he's tired or overworked. But the real shock wasn't the condition. It was his confession. "I was afraid to go to the hospital, not because of the issue. I just didn't want anyone taking pictures." And the fandom froze, not because his health was collapsing, not because he hinted at anything more serious, but because that single sentence revealed something deeper. Fame has made even basic self-care terrifying. Celeb Buzz Insider sees this all the time, the way stardom wraps itself around someone like invisible armor that slowly becomes shackles. But hearing it come from Yuning's own mouth? That was different. That was personal. That was a moment that shook his entire fanbase. Reactions erupted across social platforms, emotional, analytical, and wild. Within minutes, his live stream clip detonated across the internet. On Weibo, trending. On TikTok, everywhere. On Instagram, fans posting screenshots like breaking news. 3 types of reactions formed instantly, and each one tells its own story. 1. The emotional protectors. These were the fans reacting with pure heart, zero filter. "He's been working nonstop. I knew something would happen. He's tired. You can hear it. You can see it. Someone protect him. Wrap him in a blanket and force him to sleep." They didn't care whether it was a small rash or a meteor strike level injury. To them, any discomfort on Liu Yuning is a crisis. And honestly, it's kind of adorable. 2. The logical analysts. Then came the calm, medically informed voices. "It's common dermatitis. Relax. It happens when you're stressed or lacking sleep. This is literally the most normal health issue ever." They try to ground the conversation, to soothe the panic, to remind everyone that not every red patch equals a tragedy. And they weren't wrong. Celeb Buzz Insider's own analysis agrees. It's a recurring, non-dangerous inflammation. Annoying, yes. Serious? Not at all. 3. The worry amplifiers. This is the group every celebrity fears. Not malicious, but unintentionally dramatic. They started stitching clips, adding captions, layering emotional music, all with good intentions, but creating an atmosphere that felt heavier than the reality. What if he's hiding something? He sounded nervous. What if the pressure is worse than we think? You know the phrase, worry spreads like wildfire. This was the match. But the real question isn't about his skin. It's about something deeper. Why? Why would Liu Yuning, beloved by millions, fear going to the hospital? Why would a routine checkup feel risky? Why would he hesitate to care for his own body, the instrument of his career, because he feared someone's camera? That question shook the fandom more than the inflammation ever could. It opened a door into the emotional reality of celebrity life, A world where privacy is a luxury and vulnerability is a headline waiting to happen. Celeb Buzz Insider has covered countless celebrity stories, but this moment stands out because it reveals a truth fans rarely get to hear spoken so plainly. Fame doesn't just demand perfection. It punishes anything that looks human. The invisible weight Liu Yuning has been carrying. Think about his recent schedule: filming dramas, shooting promotional content, recording music, attending events, live streaming regularly, engaging with fans. Repeat, repeat, repeat. He has been operating at a level that most people can't even imagine. And yet he still shows up with energy, humor, warmth, like a friend visiting your screen every night. But nobody, not even the strongest idol, is immune to stress. Stress shows up in many forms: fatigue, strained voice, sleep issues, and yes, skin inflammation. The science checks out. The medical side is simple. But the emotional side? That's where things get complicated. Because when a star works this hard and still fears being misunderstood at the hospital, it tells us something powerful. He's been carrying more pressure than he ever lets on. The livestream moment that changed everything. Let's go back to the livestream and slow it down the way analysts do. As he touched the back of his neck, there was a tiny hesitation in his movement. Not pain, but awareness, as if he already knew fans would notice. Then came the eye moment, that soft, almost embarrassed half smile. A mix of, "I know you're worried. I didn't want to bring this up. And I'm a little shy talking about it." That expression alone sent fans spiraling into full protect mode. His tone, gentle, calm, almost like he was comforting them rather than himself. He wasn't trying to make it dramatic. He wasn't fishing for sympathy. He was simply telling the truth. And that honesty, that rare unfiltered transparency, is what turned a minor health update into a viral conversation across fandoms. What this means moving forward, the Insider prediction. At Celeb Buzz Insider, our editorial team has analyzed hundreds of celebrity turning points. And moments like this usually mark a shift, sometimes subtle, sometimes seismic. Here's what we believe will happen next. 1. Fans will become even more protective of him. Right now, the online atmosphere is filled with warmth. No negativity, no panic spirals, just collective care. People aren't just following him, they're guarding him. This could lead to a healthier, more supportive fan culture around Yuning, one that prioritizes his well-being over endless content. 2. Yuning might start setting clearer boundaries. Fear of the hospital is a red flag, not medically but emotionally. This moment might inspire him to say, "No, not today. I need rest." And based on fan response, the fandom appears ready for that shift. They're not demanding perfection, they're demanding he take care of himself. 3. His public image may evolve into something even more powerful. Not fragile, not weak, not worrying, but authentically human. And in today's digital world, authenticity is a superpower. His honesty didn't damage his image, it strengthened it. The bigger story, the cost of fame, told through a small red patch. This entire incident, the live stream, the inflammation, the confession, is much bigger than it appears. It's about how fame isolates, how pressure distorts normal decisions, how fear of rumors controls personal choices, how the public forgets that celebrities aren't superheroes, and how even someone as bright, bold, and talented as Liu Yuning sometimes feels small under the spotlight. Celeb Buzz Insider believes this moment will be remembered not because of what was on his skin, but because of what he revealed in his heart. So what should fans do now? Support him. Give him space. Let him rest. Celebrate his honesty rather than fear the worst. Because if there's one thing Liu Yuning deserves, right now in this moment, it's the freedom to take care of himself without imagining headlines waiting outside the hospital door. The man who spends so much of his life taking care of his audience is finally asking, in the quietest way possible, for a little understanding in return. And honestly, he's earned it 1,000 times over.